What's going on, gamers? Here we are back with some more Diablo 2 Resurrected, and today's video is probably going to be more based towards beginners or returning players that have not played for an absolute long time and just can't remember much about the game. And that's going to be why the most powerful thing that you're going to want to look out for is anything to do with your class skills. Anytime you can grab this, you're going to want to put it on your build, and I'm going to show you why. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest in hints, tips, guides and builds, and just some fun gameplay and reviews of upcoming games. But for today I'm here to show you something. Like I said, if you're a veteran and you're already geared up or you've been playing Diablo for a long time, you will not want to know this because you already do know this. But if you are a complete beginner and you're trying to gear up and wondering why you just can't get that damage about yourself, then this is one of the reasons, and this is one of the things you should be looking at for the most, and that is your plus skills to your class. So if we go over some of the actual items that I've got on, not all of them are perfect by a long shot, but I'll just show you how good some of them are just because they've got certain things on them. So this one right here, just a normal magic amulet, and not one that's by means the best at all, +2 to elemental skills. And anytime you can get plus to your actual skill levels or your actual class levels is going to help you in abundance. They are probably the most sought after things in the game, and the reason for that is because they just help you build out so much all the way through. So if I have a little look at this one right here has got +2 to all skills, meaning if anyone chucks it on any skills that they have unlocked, it's going to put an additional +2 onto them. And that in itself is just absolutely massive. The reason for that is you get 1 skill point per leveling up. Obviously you can hit all the way to 99 if you were going to play this for a very long time, but +2 on its own to all skills is absolutely massive. And also because it's all skills, it's going to affect everything that you've already put a point into. Like I said on this one, this right here goes to the elemental skills for the druid, meaning anything I've got to do with elemental will then have +2 on top of it. If I go just over to here, I am using something that I found very early on. I can't even remember if I found it on normal or if I found it on nightmare, but the reason I'm using it is because it's got +2 to skill levels. The actual weapon is not very good in the slightest. I can even craft better now, but I've been a little bit lazy because +2 to druid skill levels pretty much does the job at the moment. Like I said, anytime you can get those, it's going to boost your whole build. It's the reason why things such as this, so for example the skin of the Viper Maggie, is such a popular choice. And although it's not best in slot because you can get the really top end gear such as the Enigma and such, until you can reach that level, this is absolutely amazing. And considering you can see it only comes with 5 actual things, so +1 to all skills, +30% faster cast rate, +120% enhanced defense, which is nice, but again it's not going to make or break anything because the defensive value of the armor is not actually that high. All resistances which are nice, my one's rolled a little bit low on this one, and magic damage reduced by 12. But all in all, as you can see from that list, the only ones that are actually amazing is the +1 to all skills, the 30% faster cast rate, and the all resistances. Those 3 are great and you'd want them on pretty much any item you can get in the game. But this can be used all the way up until getting that late endgame gear. If it didn't have that +1 to all skills, I doubt very much whether people will be using this because the other things that are on it just aren't that good. But because it just has +1 to all skills, it now becomes one of the better items in the game. At endgame, you're going to be trying to chock-a-block your build with as much plus to skills as possible, whether it be through things such as this, which is my preferred path, so +3 to elemental skills, so this will definitely help for my 1 skill tree, or trying to get it plus to all of your skills. You'll definitely want to chuck as many plus skills on as you can, because as you go over to your skill tree, you'll notice that it will absolutely boost it through the roof. You'll be able to hit upwards of 43 on these endgame, and it will just make the difference between your clear speeds, your damage, how fast you can get things done, just through having an absolute abundance in your tree. So for example, every time I get +1, to any of my skills. So say for example with that Viper Maggie, if I changed it off to Enigma, because it had gone from +1 to +2, every single attribute point that I'd put in any tree, not just the elemental, so if I put anything in the summoning tree, all of these will benefit from it as well, meaning that the summon grizzly will get +5. Of course, the way things work with Diablo, because they're boosted by certain other skills, so for example, when I can actually see what I'm doing, right, so say for example here, if I wanted this to get really high, the plus to all skills is going to boost it massively because it actually benefits from all of the other ones. So Cyclone Armor gives it +2 seconds per level, Twister gives it +9% damage per level, and Tornado gives it +9% damage per level. Meaning that each one of these, that gets an extra skill point in it, is going to boost this very last one. It works similarly to all the other skills as well. For example, just over this path, this last one will be boosted by Fissure, Firestorm, Molten Boulder and Volcano. I've boosted every time you put a skill point into some of the other ones. It means those Plaster Skills are absolutely vital and are probably the most sought after thing in the game. So the reason for that is just here. If I go down the bottom here and just find someone to punch in the face or hit in the face with a skill. Right, so here we have a few that I've managed to find, and as you can see, their health is going down pretty nicely. I'm not sure if that one's got immunities. Yes, it has. Right, so I found an absolutely awful one to test this on. But if you have a look, their health is going down pretty tasty. It's doing quite a chunk of damage. And that's because my build has all of those plus skills to it. So if I bop inside so that I don't get killed like I've done before, and go over to my skill tree, if I go all the way down to here, I have 8 on my Summon Grizzly. That's going to help me out quite a lot. Also, I've got 16 just up here on my Oak Sage, and that's on my Summoning tree. Now, like I said, I've put obviously 1 point into all of these, and whatever I've put into that, and then the additional is coming from my actual equipment. So for example, if I bop straight over to my inventory again, and remember there was 8 there, and 16 just over there. Now if I take off +2 to all skills, and again just over here +2 to all skills, and this one in the middle again has the plus to skills, and this one again has plus to druid skill levels, which pretty much works exactly the same. It's plus to all your skills, except that this one is a druid only piece. And that, apart from completely botching my build and making me very squishy, because I've taken all of those off, my character now, if I go over to his skill tree, he only has the one that I've put in at the very start. So all of these had one base that I've put in, and at this one right here, obviously I've put in the 9. Again, exactly the same for when I can actually go the right way, exactly the same for over here. So if I show you this one, I've got 24 on Cyclone Armor, meaning that it's going to be able to do absorb of 1643 damage. Also, just over here, it's going to be giving me a current skill level of 24, meaning that my Twister does 455 to 485 damage. But the main two I'm looking at for my Windy Druid will be this one right here, the Tornado, so 2310 to 2476. And of course the Hurricane just down here is going to give me 1168 to 1283. So not bad, not the best. We're going to say about 2.5k and about 1.3. And again, if I go back to here, some of them actually have a little bit to help that as well. So I've actually left on this, which gives it +2 elemental. But if I put my equipment straight back on, as you can see now, it has bopped up to a massive 31. Everything that I've unlocked is going to be receiving those plus to class skills. Some of them were obviously just for the elemental, but whenever you can get it for your class is going to work the most in your favour. If we bop straight back over to the summoning, again, now this is all the way on to 8. And jumping straight back over to the damage, if we have a little look, the Cyclone there will absorb 2080, which is absolutely massive increase. And just down here, the Tornado now does 3462 to 3673, And finally, just down here we've got the Hurricane, which now does 1646 to 1761. Whenever you can chuck those class skills into your build by putting them on your armor or your weapon, or of course if you want to chuck them on, which I completely forgot I had on, if you want to chuck them on your charms just down here, that's also going to absolutely help you. Whether you need to trade for these, whether you need to grind for these, whether you need to just be very fortunate and find them with a bit of magic find, it is well worth doing. For the sheer fact that these right here, your plus to all skills and even your plus to whatever skill trees you're going for, is going to make your build much stronger, much more viable. And very often in this game, even though you need a lot of resistances, offense is pretty much always the best defense, and if you can't kill something, you're probably best off running away from it. For example, if it's immune to your actual damage type. All in all, I would say probably the most sought after thing that you can go for is trying to find anything you can with those plus to skill levels, because it's really going to help your build out, and hopefully that fella's going to stop doing that to make things a bit easier. But yeah, try and keep an eye out for them, because it will really help you out and it will make things a lot easier, because you'll be doing a lot more damage and you'll be getting more stats out of your character for everything you've unlocked. So for example, if like me, where I'm trying a bit of a crazy hybrid build, because I've done all of these and I've unlocked one of each down this side, every single time I get that plus class skill, even if it's 1 point, it's going to add on to every single one of these. So anytime you can, grab yourself those all skills and make your build really powerful, and make things a little bit easier for yourself as you venture out doing those nightmare and hell difficulties. As always guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care, I'll see you on the next day.